We're talking skincare and skin health. Been talking about it for a while. I get a lot of emails now about skin and my new products, The Truth. I know you guys are really interested in skin. Everybody's interested in having beautiful skin. And there's perhaps no more misunderstood organ in the body than the skin. We don't even really treat it like an organ, even though we give it lip service and we say it's an organ. If we really did treat it like an organ, we sure wouldn't be spreading and smearing the kind of crappy stuff that we do in terms of skincare products. When I first got into the skincare business, I don't know if I ever told you guys the story of how I got into skincare. I worked for Blistex, the Blistex Corporation, and I worked in the laboratory as a pharmacy student. And as I was making products, making Blistex and making various skincare products, I couldn't believe the raw materials that were going into these things. I didn't really know much about skincare. I was in my 20s, early 20s. I didn't use skincare products, but I couldn't believe it. The gooky, sticky, waxy, toxic stuff that was going into products. And then when I graduated pharmacy school and went to work in drugstores and saw what was actually on the shelves in terms of skincare, I couldn't believe it. And you know what? It hasn't changed very much. I was at Bergdorf Goodman, a super fancy high-end department store a couple of weeks ago. I think I told you this story. I couldn't believe the products that were being sold for $1,000 for 4 ounces. $1,000 for 4 ounces. And it's the same crap that you get anywhere else. Worse even, because some of these products contain over 100 different ingredients, oils, waxes, herbs. Oh, God knows what was in that thing. It's a witch's brew of stuff. I cannot for the life of me think why anybody would think that's okay to put on their skin. We all need to be ingredient deck readers. I used to do a class on how to read an ingredient deck back when I had my skincare school. And it's probably the single most important thing to understand when it comes to skincare and when it comes to foods, when it comes to supplements. We got to learn how to read ingredient decks. Anything that interfaces with our bodies, whether it's food or skincare or supplements, whatever, if it's interfacing with our bodies, we want to be ingredient deck savvy. This is the only way manufacturers are going to wake up and begin to honor us, honor the customer, honor the patient, honor the client and the patient, the customer's skin. In any case, once we understand the nature of the skin as an organ made up of 2 types of tissue, basically it has all types of tissue, but largely, like the rest of the body, it's connective tissue and muscle tissue. And then it's got a little surface. I call it a coating, epithelial tissue, and then you've got your nerve system. That's basically the whole body, as we've said many times. You've got connective tissue and muscle tissue make up the vast majority of the body, and then you've got your electrical tissue, which is the nerves, and then you've got the candy coating, if you will, the coating, the epithelia. Once you understand the nature of the skin as a complex of 80 to 90% connective and muscle tissue, we can really start to take advantage of topical skin care. Topical skin care doesn't have to be a joke. It is a joke now, but it doesn't have to be. Because the skin utilizes or can potentially utilize ingredients if you know what you're doing. One of the distinguishing features of the skin's surface, the coating, the epithelia, is that it is incredibly, incredibly thin. The surface of the skin, called the epidermis technically, the epidermis is about as thin as or as thick as about a piece of notebook paper. Okay, and the very tippy top, the very tippy top of the epidermis, which is made up of hard cells, a fingernail-like coating, that's called the stratum corneum, and that's about 1/10 as thick as a piece of paper. So you've got this incredibly thin coating on top of the skin, basically about as thick as a piece of notebook paper, and then you've got this hard, resistant coating, water impermeable coating. That's basically the purpose of the very tippy top surface. It's water impermeable. It's like a raincoat. It's like a waxy coating. Keeps water in and keeps water out. And it's this surface, which is, by the way, made up of dead cells and protein and fats. It's this surface that really needs to be addressed if you're going to take advantage, you're going to exploit topical skincare. As a formulator, my main consideration in formulating skincare products is how am I going to get past that stratum corneum? How am I going to get past that fingernail-like coating to the more active, living, dynamic, viable tissue underneath? That's the secret to topical skincare. You got to get past that surface. The vast majority, 99.9% of skincare products are working at the dead skin cell level. So you go out and spend $1,000 at Bergdorf Goodman for your fancy schmancy anti-aging skincare product or moisturizing product. You rub it on your skin, and then you put your finger, rub your finger along and say, oh, I'm moisturized. No, you're not moisturized. All you're feeling is wax and oil. You're slickerized. You've created a slick sensation on the surface, and somehow we believe that's moisture. Not only is it not moisture, it's anti-moisture. Not only you're not doing anything for your skin when you're not feeling it, your skin, you're feeling product. It's really kind of silly when you think about it. It's just common sense. Like all health and all nutrition, it's just common sense. If you are rubbing your skincare product on the surface of your skin and it's not getting past that hard, tough layer on the top, what are you getting for your $1,000 an ounce or $1,000 a bottle or whatever you're spending on your moisturizing product? Even if it's cheap, what are you getting? You're getting soft, dead skin. Congratulations. That's what you get, soft, dead skin. Are we really satisfied with that? That's what skincare is, because it's based on 1920s technology. Even before, the skincare product was a skincare vehicle, the cream, the lotion that we all use today, was invented by the Roman physician Galen, or the Greek physician Galen, who lived in ancient Rome, 200 AD. He's the guy who first put some wax and oil and beeswax and a few other things together, and he created the cold cream, which we still use today. That's your basic moisturizer, invented by Galen, 200 AD, and marketed by Helena Rubinstein in 1920. But today, we know there's so much more action going on in the skin. There's so much we can do with topical skincare. Hang tight. We'll continue when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back after this.
Registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs ensures he gets the best use of his mineral supplements by using Youngevity's Ultimate Enzymes.
If you start a nutritional supplement program and you find that you get loose stools more than you get any benefits from the supplements, there's a good chance that you're not absorbing the minerals. Now, here's the thing about minerals and mineral absorption. You need to have a functioning fat system. You need to have functioning bile. You need to have a well-functioning liver and a well-functioning gallbladder in order to get the benefits from nutritional supplements with minerals. It's very common that as we get older, we don't absorb fats, we don't utilize fats, and then you won't be utilizing or absorbing minerals either. I would be getting on the Ultimate Enzymes from Youngevity. I'd be making sure I was taking them with all my meals.
To get optimal use of your nutritional supplements, order Ultimate Enzymes from Youngevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470 or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
Have you ever felt like the United States government knows way too much about your financial affairs? I continue to hear stories about property seizures, frozen bank accounts, confiscation of stocks and bonds. It makes me wonder if the U.S. citizen will ever again have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unfortunately, with the Drug and Money Laundering Act, the IRS Revenue Ruling 6045 of 1984, and the Trading with the Enemy Act and Franklin D. Roosevelt's Executive Order of 1933, some precious metal holdings are subject to government intervention. For this reason, Midas Resources has prepared a report explaining the boundaries of trading precious metals privately. Whether if you have any intention of trading with Midas Resources or not, I have instructed my representatives to give this report out free. Call for your free copy at 1-800-686-2237. When investing, always proceed with caution. Again, call 1-800-686-2237. Exercise your legal right to trade metals privately. 1-800-686-2237.
By now, you may have heard a bit about Bitcoins, but did you know Bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know bidbit.co. Why? Because bidbit.co is where you can easily receive Bitcoins by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for Bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your products and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at bidbit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit Escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at bidbit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co, bidbit.co.
If you constantly feel run down and tired, your pH level might be low and your body could be full of toxins. If what you drink is not at a pH level of 8 or higher, you are inviting bacteria and acid to thrive in your body. But there is something you can do. Simply add 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops to your water to help your body rid itself of acidic waste, increase oxygen, and raise your pH balance to optimum levels. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops combine a unique formula of the most alkaline minerals in the world, alkalizing the water you drink drink, ridding your body of acidic waste and toxins and helping you regain energy and vibrant health. And studies show viruses, bacteria, and toxins cannot survive in an alkaline, high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops at alkavision.com. That's ALKA Vision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
This Friday, we're going to be talking to Dr. James Ehrlich about polyphenols. There's a really interesting nutritional compound. They're called polyphenols, and they're found throughout nature, but they're especially found in a plant called the bergamot, which is kind of a citrus sort of fruit. It doesn't taste very good, but it's loaded with polyphenols. There's some really neat literature coming out now about bergamot polyphenols and metabolic syndrome, which is a blood sugar issue that affects blood pressure and weight. Even Alzheimer's disease is thought to be part of this thing called metabolic syndrome, which is basically a blood sugar problem. Do you know, well, you probably know if you've if you listen to me on this program, that Alzheimer's disease is actually now being considered a type of diabetes. They call it type 3 diabetes. And as it turns out, polyphenols from bergamot can go a long way towards improving your body's ability to handle blood sugar, reducing the symptoms of so-called metabolic syndrome, which is a blood sugar issue. And now even Alzheimer's disease and dementias may be involved, and polyphenols may have a beneficial effect on dementias and Alzheimer's disease and some of the other signs of old age that are associated with blood sugar problems. We'll talk to Dr. Ehrlich, who's a good friend of mine, as well as a spectacular medical professional. I don't say that a lot about physicians, but Dr. Ehrlich is one. Very kind guy, kind man, as well as really on the ball when it comes to understanding polyphenols, as well as other nutritional supplements. Dr. Ehrlich will be on Friday, and I'll be selling a bergamot product on one of my websites here. I'll tell you about that as well. That'll be this Friday. On the bright side, our number today, 844-236-6010. If you've got questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, we welcome your phone calls. 844-236-6010. If you're interested in checking out my new Truth products, go to truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. And I encourage you to check out my Facebook page, The Truth with Ben, and like the page. We post various articles that I write and videos, etc., on The Truth with Ben. That's my Facebook page. Okay, 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, we welcome your phone calls. We'll get your calls here in our next segment. So, the skin is a route of administration into the blood. This is one thing we study in pharmacy school. How to get medicine into the blood through the skin. You've all heard of estrogen creams and progesterone creams, and if you go on a cruise and you get nauseous, they'll put a little patch behind your ear, scopolamine patch, and you have lidocaine patches and pain patches, etc. All of these exploit the ability of stuff to get through the skin into the blood, but you gotta understand about this, how to get through, how to transcend the skin surface, the hard fingernail-like layer on the surface of the skin. The real action of the skin's underneath. It's in the connective tissue and in the muscle tissue. That's right, your wrinkles and signs of old age and thinness, all of the things that make grandma's skin different from an infant or a baby or a child's skin is in the connective tissue. It's in the muscle tissue. It's not on the surface. You can rub all the stuff you want on the surface, but if you're not getting into the connective tissue and into the muscle tissue, you're not going to have any benefit. This is the problem with skincare. It addresses the surface, not the connective tissue. By the way, just last week, the FDA approved an injection designed to melt away fat. Fat's a type of connective tissue that can accumulate under the skin, especially in the chin area. This is a drug that the FDA approved for injection designed to melt away double chin fat. It's called Kybella, Kybella. Guess what Kybella is? It's bile salts. Why? Because bile and bile salts help you process fats. That's why I'm always talking about using bile salts for fat malabsorption syndrome. Now the FDA has approved bile salts for injection into your chin if you have a double chin to help you process the fat underneath the chin. At least that's one way of getting into the connective tissue and into the muscle tissue. But you don't need to inject stuff in if you know how to formulate a skincare product, if you're clever about formulating a skincare product. This is why pharmacists are the best skincare chemists, theoretically anyway, because we understand how to get stuff into the blood through the skin. When you rub something on rub a cream on the top of your skin, and then you rub your finger along the area of the skin, you're feeling the product, not the skin. You're feeling the wax, you're feeling the oil, you're feeling the solvent, the preservative, the fragrance, the stuff in the product. You're not feeling the skin. But if we understand the layered nature of the skin, and we distinguish between the living stuff underneath and the bulk of the skin underneath, that's called the dermis. I call it the beef. We will recognize, once we understand this, we're going to recognize the useless waste of money that most topical moisturizers and anti-aging products represent. The real action of the skin is underneath. This is where the wrinkles are. Underneath. There's only 2 ingredients that make it into the dermis significantly. Only 2, you guys. That simplifies everything. There's only 2 ingredients that will make it into this living, viable, growing tissue, connective tissue, in the lower levels of the skin where the collagen is made and the other fibers are made, and the glucose aminoglycans, they call them GAGs, these are sugars that absorb and trap water. They act as thickeners and shock absorbers. All that stuff is made in the dermis, and the only 2 topical ingredients of any note, there's a couple minor ones perhaps, but of any significance that get in there are vitamin A and vitamin C. And we've been talking about vitamin A a lot. There's some to be fair, there's some peptides. One is called matrixyl that can force cells to make collagen and other fibers if you want to go all out. Matrixyl is a good one. But it's nowhere near in the same category as vitamin A and vitamin C. When it comes to vitamin A, look for retinol over the counter. You can use retinoic acid or Retin-A if you want to go and get a prescription, but no need if you use retinol in high enough concentration. Head over to truthtreatments.com. Check out my 5.0%. That's right, 5.0% retinol. That will blow anybody away in the skincare business. When I tell my chemist friends about my 5% retinol, they can't believe it because it's unheard of. Because retinol is very, very unstable and very, very irritating. Thus, the importance of my Truth Treatment Retinol, which is non-irritating and very stable. You can find out all about it at truthtreatments.com. Vitamin C is also important. Look for fatty vitamin C. Remember, you're an ingredient reader. If you're going to make a sophisticated, and intelligent, and savvy choice about a skincare product, you want to be an ingredient reader. Look for ascorbyl palmitate and ascorbyl tetraisopalmitate. Just look for the word ascorbyl, ASCORBYL, and then after that you want to find a palm, P-A-L-M, palm derivative, palmitate, tetraisopalmitate, something like that. Those are the ones I use in my formulation. This is the upside of being a therapist and a healthcare professional as well as being a chemist. I know what works on the skin, and I know how to put it in a product. When you're choosing a skincare product, you want to be careful about working with companies that are not leveraging these 2 skill sets of being a healthcare professional and understanding biochemistry and delivery systems. The worst companies, skincare companies, and the ones you want to stay away from, in my opinion, are the ones that are run by or owned by business people. Not that there's anything wrong with business, but when it comes to healthcare, business and healthcare, unsavory bedfellows, as they say. Bookkeepers, especially, and bankers, marketers, who are more focused on the bottom line than on the skin. There's nothing wrong with business, nothing wrong with capitalism. It's just that when it comes to our bodies, we want to be careful about the integrity of our product, and companies that are run by bookkeepers and marketers and bankers, they're going to be interested more in the bottom line than in your health. Skincare is healthcare. It's not foo-foo. It's not pretend. It's not a joke. Skincare products, in my opinion, are best left to healthcare professionals and chemists who really understand how to deliver the goods, the good stuff, to the skin and ultimately lower levels of the skin. And ultimately, because beautiful skin, really beautiful skin, not imitation or simulated beautiful skin, really truly beautiful skin is always going to be healthy skin. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We're coming back with your phone calls. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back after this.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Block-It Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockItPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockItPocket.com or call 888-314 815-9618. BlockitPocket.com. Enhancing health and privacy.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
On the average, Americans work between 45 to 50 years, hoping to build up enough wealth to retire and live out their golden years. Unfortunately, with taxation, the rising cost of food, energy, housing, and medical, many retirees are forced to live below the poverty line. Is this a flaw of free enterprise, or is our monetary unit we call the Federal Reserve Note forcing us into perpetual debt, ensuring inflation and higher taxes? These questions and more can be answered by reading G. Edward Griffin's book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. Congressman Ron Paul states it's what every American needs to know about central bank power. A gripping adventure into the secret world of international banking cartel. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I will give a silver dollar from the early 1900s to anyone who purchases this book. Call 1-800-686-2237 and order a copy today. It's critical that the public be made aware of the system. Call and order your copy today at 1-800-686-2237. That's 1-800-686-2237.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
We're talking a little skin health, skin care and skin health. I don't like the term skin care. I like skin health because healthy skin is beautiful skin and beautiful skin is healthy skin. The two most important nutrients by far and away, from a topical perspective anyway, are vitamin A and vitamin C, maybe even from an internal perspective. Internally, everybody needs 20,000 IU of vitamin A a day. Internally, you always want to take it with some vitamin D and your minerals and fat absorption supplements if you have a problem with fat absorption. Vitamin A is the quintessential building vitamin, and it's the quintessential skin vitamin. So is vitamin C in a water-soluble form. And then zinc is also important. In fact, that's the big three, in my opinion. Vitamin A, vitamin C, and zinc. Now, internally, they're all important, absolutely. But when it comes to topical products, even though there's a zillion products available, the only three that are going to make a clear, no pun intended, a clear difference and a significant difference when you apply them topically are vitamin A, vitamin C, and zinc. Not melon extract from a French doctor who harvests it once a year, or movie star or whatever. Not organic herbs, not essential oils, not Nerium, not any cream or lotion that's 80 to 90% water and then 10% or 15% wax and filler. Even if you absolutely love it. I hear people say all the time, oh, I love it. I love this product. Just use common sense. You can love it, and that's great, and no problem if you love your skincare product, but no matter what your movie star plastic surgeon tells you, no matter how much you love the product, if it doesn't have vitamin A and vitamin C and zinc, it isn't really going to do very much for your skin in a permanent kind of way. And it's not enough just to put the stuff right on your skin. It's got to be in the correct form. We talked a lot about vitamin A in its correct form, but also vitamin C has to be in its correct form, and for that matter, zinc as well. We'll continue talking about that tomorrow as we talk skin health and skincare on the bright side. 844-236-1610 is our number if you have questions about the skin or questions about health or questions about nutritional supplementation or the longevity products or recommendations, or you want to get off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program. We're here for you. Let us help you change your life today. You can change your life today. Really, once you incorporate these ideas, it doesn't take very long to change your physical state of health or wellness or lack thereof, and ultimately change your life. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Gina in Texas. What's up? Welcome to the bright side, Gina.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. What's going on?
Hi, my question is regarding rosacea. My daughter, who's 27, has had a very mild case since September. She hasn't really taken anything specific, and I have asked her not to go see a doctor that might prescribe antibiotics.
They can't do anything. Rosacea is not a skin
Correct.
problem. When we have rosacea, we go to a dermatologist typically, right? And by the way,
Yes.
I rip on doctors all the time, and I know that. But you know what? Dermatology is the silliest of all medical professions, because by the time you see the thing on your skin, the rash, the eczema, the psoriasis, the pimple, whatever, it's over. To treat the eczema, the rash, or the psoriasis, or the pimple on top of the skin is silly, because that's not the problem. That's the end of the problem. That's the end result of the problem. Now, when it comes to rosacea in particular is a classic case of appearances being deceiving. I did a blog post this morning on appearances being deceiving when it comes to the skin. It looks like you got a skin problem when you have rosacea, but you don't. You have a blood problem. It's showing up on the skin because the blood vessels are very close to the surface where you have rosacea. Usually people have rosacea in the cheek area.
Right.
That's because the blood supply it's close to the top in the area of the cheek. Now, if you have rosacea, you have it inside your body too. It's not just on your skin. But you see it on the skin because the blood supply is real close to the skin. By the way, for the listeners who don't know about rosacea is a kind of redness that occurs on the face area, cheek area, nose area sometimes. Sometimes it's associated with skin oils, excessive skin oils, and sometimes it's associated with acne. But the most important, the take-home message for rosacea is it involves the blood and the immune system. It means something is getting into the blood. Whenever you have redness on the body, rosacea means redness, rosy, redness. Whenever you have redness in the body, anywhere, you have the manifestation of blood vessels expanding, dilating, opening up in a defensive response. It's a defensive response, rosacea. It means something has gotten into the blood that shouldn't get into the blood. It's not a skin issue, it's a blood issue. If you have a blood issue, that means you either have an IV drug abuse issue. I assume your daughter's not injecting drugs and, she's not an IV drug user.
That's correct.
Or perhaps she has some kind of weird respiratory problem. That's unusual. No. Yeah, for the most part, it's food. That's the only other thing it can be. Food. And you don't need a doctor or a dermatologist. And the idiocy of the medical model using steroids and antibiotics, of all things, topical antibiotics for rosacea, is so ridiculously stupid. I can't even express how idiotic a strategy it is. Now, in fairness, metronidazole, which is the classic topical antibiotic that they'll give you for rosacea, in fairness, it does have some anti-inflammatory properties. So you might get some quieting down at the surface level, but it's not going to solve the problem. So here's what you need to do, ma'am, or anybody out there with rosacea. Number one, and it's not going to come as no surprise to anybody who listens to this program, work on digestive health. Are you getting a sense here that it's all basically the same thing? I mean, how many times do I say work on digestive health? Everything is right? Yes. Rosacea shouldn't be any different. Now, with rosacea, you very often have a bacterial problem, internal bacterial problem involving something called H. pylori. H. pylori is a bacteria that overgrows inside the system when the digestive system's messed up. So again, it comes down to the digestive system. You can use stomach acid supplements, apple cider vinegar, betaine HCl to improve digestion. That's a good strategy. Ultimate enzymes from longevity are probably a good idea. And then some apple cider vinegar after meals. And then look for food intolerances, digestive intolerances. And what you'll notice is, that your daughter will flare up when she eats certain foods. This is a classic, right? I mean, everybody who has rosacea will tell you it gets worse when they eat certain foods. I like to use the term hidden in plain sight. If you know that the doctor's giving you an immune suppressant for a skin problem like rosacea, you know you have an immune problem. If you know your skin flares up, your rosacea flares up when you eat certain foods, you know you got a digestive problem. So working on immunity and the digestive system is how you deal with rosacea. Eliminate problem foods, look for problems like constipation and diarrhea, loose stools, bloating, gas and discomfort, reactions to foods, and then eliminate those foods. Do a food diary, get on the ultimate enzymes, get on the biolumin nightly essence, 3 capsules in the morning, 3 capsules at night. Use your Fuchs Z. You notice I'm not saying anything here topical. Now, I'll give you some topical ideas that'll help a little bit, but it's mostly in the digestive system. Ultimate enzymes, apple cider vinegar, probiotics, Fuchs Z. If you want to go all out, you can get something called, you can get lecithin, you can get bile salts, extra bile salts, a couple other things for digestive health. Fermented foods are always helpful. Hang tight. I got to take a commercial, so don't go away, Gina, and we'll get you when we come back. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. And then, Gene, I'll tell you some topical strategies, some healthy topical strategies that you can use for rosacea as well. All right, don't go away. We got more good health information and your phone calls right after this.
Stress, like many conditions in a fast-paced society, is at epidemic proportions, and one of the most effective ways to support your body during periods of excessive stress is by replacing the nutrients expended during that time. De-stress contains large amounts of B-complex vitamins, in addition to vitamin C, magnesium, and valerian root extract. For more information on this and other great products, contact Lady Talk Live at 855-333-5239. Majestic Earth's Beyond Tangy Tangerine contains no artificial sweeteners or preservatives and is glycemic friendly. This easy-dissolving powder contains plant-derived minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and 115 fruits and vegetables. I can't think of anything better for you. For more information on this and other great products, contact Lady Talk Live at 855-333-5239. That's 855-333-LADY.
Hi, John Hubner from Midas Resources. Are you tired of watching your hard-earned assets dwindle away? As government spending is out of hand and the Federal Reserve is creating in excess of $20 billion a week, are you tired of stockbrokers gambling away your hard-earned money? Is this market a setup for a crash greater than 1987? Too many of today's policies resemble those that led to the collapse of 1929. This is John Hubner, and that was me in 2007. And we all know what happened when the subprime credit bubble burst. By March 2009, the dollar lost 50% of its value. The entire U.S. banking system was on the verge of collapsing. Like all financial problems of the past, is history about to repeat itself? Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129, before it's too late to protect yourself. Will the oncoming catastrophe take all private IRAs, 401ks with it? There is a way to protect your hard-earned assets. Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129.
Making the right decisions is a challenge to investors. Are we going to see economic growth, slide into a recession, or at worst, depression? Hi, Ted Anderson from Midas Resources. We all know when a company acts irresponsibly, divesting ourselves in a move towards safety is prudent. When the market becomes volatile, U.S. Treasuries are a safe haven. But what do you do when the U.S. government overextends itself and spends beyond its means? Many investors are turning toward gold as a common-sense alternative to traditional paper investments. Midas Resources has put together a powerful book titled 10 Reasons to Own Gold, discussing costs, benefits, risks, featuring full-color illustrations, weights, and measures. The book is free and can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. Paper investments are dwarfed by gold's 6,000-year history. Discover how gold may be right for you and your IRA by calling 800-686-2237. Whether buying or it's time for you to sell, the book is free. Call 800-686-2237.
Positive results from satisfied customers of Heart and Body Extract continue to pour into our website, hbextract.com.
This is Al from New Jersey. One day I saw your ad for Heart and Body Extract, and it mentioned that it would help me with angina, so I decided to order. I figure I had nothing to lose.
Heart and Body Extract supplies your body with everything it needs to balance itself and maintain optimal heart and circulatory health with no negative side effects.
I took the formula 3 times a day as directed, and I kid you not, within 4 days my angina pain was completely gone.
Order HB Extract by calling 866-295-5305 or online at hbextract.com. That's 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
I could not believe it actually stopped the pain. Heart and Body Extract actually works. This is just an amazing product. Even the numbness in my hands is completely gone.
Heart and Body Extract for a long and healthy life.
We're talking skincare, skin health, but if you have questions about any health issues, or if you want to get off your medications and get on a good nutritional supplement program, if you have a success story, or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our number. We're talking to Gina in Texas about rosacea. Rosacea.
I have a question.
Well, let me just review real quick, and then I'll get your question. So rosacea is a digestive issue, largely immune issue. That means defensive issue. That means something is offending the body, and it's a blood issue. You can tell it's a blood issue because you can see it on the skin. Anytime there's redness, you've got some kind of inflammation, some kind of blood issue, some kind of defensive response. Think food, think digestion, eliminate problem foods, use digestive support. There's a couple topical things that might help you. Continue, Gina, and then I'll tell you what those are. Do you have questions, Gina? Gina?
Hear me? I had listened to one of your archives regarding rosacea, and you had recommended HCl drops. And I did find some online at a Clark store. That's what it's called, the Hulda Clark. And I was wondering if you still recommended that.
Yes.
Those are
absolutely.
that and zinc and copper is what I remember.
Absolutely, both of those. Zinc is just an all-around skin nutrient. It's good for the immune system. 50 milligrams a day of zinc. It's not like it's specific for rosacea. HCl drops are something you have to have a pharmacist make for you typically. I don't know how you got it on the internet. Usually a pharmacist makes that for you. And that helps kill the H. pylori, that bacteria that I was just telling you about, and it also helps you process your food a little bit more efficiently. Now, if you don't want to go to the trouble of getting HCl drops and getting a prescription, some states require a prescription, you can use betaine HCl, which you'll find in the Ultimate Enzymes. Now, topically, I recommend vitamin C. Now, it's not a cure for rosacea. It's just an all-around skin conditioning nutrient. Look for fatty vitamin C. Ascorbic acid can make matters worse, and that's the cheapo kind that turns brown in the bottle. There's actually a vitamin C product that costs $100 a bottle. It's made with the cheap, ridiculously ineffective form of vitamin C called ascorbic acid that turns brown in the bottle. And the company that makes the product has the nerve to tell people not to worry about it. I'm not going to tell you the name of the company, but if it turns brown in the bottle, that's not a vitamin C that you want, which is why you want to look for fat-soluble vitamin C. If you want a good fat-soluble vitamin C product, head over to truthtreatments.com and either get my Truth Balm or my Truth Serum product. All right, Gina?
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay. I think that's it. If we take care of everything that we've spoken about, does this become
go away.
lifelong?
No,
it'll go away.
It disappears forever. Now it'll come back when she eats the wrong food or if her digestive system is messed up. But rosacea is a response. If you eliminate whatever's causing the response, there's no response. Does that make sense? It's a response to. Okay, good. Thanks so much, Gina. God bless and good luck with everything. Okay, sweetie. Bye-bye. All right, Rosie, what's up? You're gonna yell at me? You're mad at me, Rose?
Hi there, Dan. No,
You're going to chew me out? Are you going to chew me out, Rose? You chewed me out yesterday. No, you didn't. I'm teasing.
It's based on love.
Okay.
You understood, right?
Thank you. I'm pulling your leg. What's going on? How can we help you?
Thank you for your kindness. Believe me, it's not in vain all what you have been teaching us. When you said about those 3, A, C, and zinc, I already knew that. I said, praise the Lord, that... you keep, sinking in, and, that knowledge, it becomes part of you.
Repetition is reinforcement, over and over again. I understand. Yes.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I had a victory. I had some kind of little lymph, growth, close to the vaginal area, and I started doing massages, and that took care of that. Apart from massage, you have to use the trampoline or jump or do some kind of exercise.
Yes, rebounder.
Yeah, it's important for all of us, okay? So anyway, I wanted to ask you in terms of, I have a few things, I have a few questions.
Sure.
What's the difference between L-glutamine? Is that the same thing as L-glutathione?
No. Different. Glutathione is made up partially of glutamine. Glutamine's a building block, and it's used by the body. It's the most abundant amino acid in the body. It's used for the brain, and it's used for the immune system. It helps you make glutathione. It's a muscle builder. It's just a detoxifier. Phenomenal amino acid. One of the things that the body makes from glutamine, with the amino acid glutamine, is glutathione, which is your primary cancer fighter and disease fighter. So taking glutamine supplements or eating whey protein or eating animal foods or high protein foods will get you your glutamine, your L-glutamine, and then from that point the body can convert it by adding a couple other amino acids to glutathione along with sulfur and selenium. So it's actually glutamine, an amino acid called glycine, and another one called cysteine, plus selenium and sulfur that help the body make glutathione. So you want all of those to make glutathione, which is the primary cancer fighter, disease fighter in the body. I told this story a couple years ago about a guy, and this is on YouTube, a guy who had Parkinson's disease, and they showed him walking, doing the Parkinson's walk, which is really kind of an unstable sort of drunk walk because Parkinson's disease is a movement disorder, and they show him walking, and then they show him walking again after a shot of glutathione or after some glutathione, intravenous glutathione, and he's a new man. And that's how powerful and how quick glutathione can work for movement disorders and for a lot of things. So glutathione is super duper important. If you have a disease like cancer, Parkinson's disease, you want to use injectable, in my opinion, intravenous glutathione, and then you have to have a naturopath or doctor do that for you. Glutamine can help you make glutathione, though. Does that help?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you too another question. When it comes to folic acid, I was a little bit, not that maybe it's me. I always say the blame is me.
Okay.
When you mentioned about folic acid,
yeah,
you said that it's like you said to be cautious about it.
Well,
how often should we take folic acid?
I don't want to say be cautious about it, but just pay attention. You never want one B vitamin, folic acid is a B vitamin, without the entire complex. That's first of all. So when you're taking folic acid as a supplement, you want to make sure you're getting your whole B complex. That's one of the advantages to using the Beyond Tang Tangerine, is you get the entire B complex. But then there's also different forms of folic acid. There's the food form of folic acid, and then there's the processed form of folic acid, or the synthetic, or the vitamin, the supplement form of folic acid. Always best to go food. Always. If you're not eating your veggies, or you can't eat your veggies, you're traveling, or for whatever reason, then you want to go with the supplemental form. It's always a good idea to just enhance your food, in my opinion, your food intake of nutrients with supplements. So there's a distinction between food folic acid and supplemental folic acid that you want to pay attention to, and there's also the consideration of using the entire B complex with the folic acid. That's probably what I meant if you saw that on a video. What else, Rosie?
I have another question. When it comes to vitamin E, you said to use mixed tocopherol. That includes the 8 types in that?
No, no, that includes 4 types. There's 8 types of vitamin E. 4 are mixed tocopherols, alpha, beta, delta, and gamma. And then another 4 are mixed tocotrienols, alpha, beta, delta, and gamma. So you want mixed tocopherols and mixed tocotrienols if you want to do it right. Tocotrienols are actually super high-powered version of vitamin E, at least from an antioxidant perspective. Rose, I want to get one more call in. Can I let you go? I'm going to let you go here, okay? Call back. Okay, God bless you. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, Rose. All right, David, what's up? Got about a minute here, my friend. David? David, you got to turn your radio off, bro.
Hi, David, what's up? Got about a minute here, my friend. Hello?
Hey, David.
Yes, I want to ask a real quick question. I got a sister that lives over in California, and she contracted the herpes virus from her husband. Her husband now is deceased.
Genital herpes, or what kind of herpes? Genital or on her mouth?
That's the one on her lip. She got
on her lips.
Lip.
Okay. Here's the deal.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the deal. Herpes is a virus, obviously, you know that probably, and it's what we call an opportunistic virus. It looks for an opportunity. It waits for an opportunity when we're weak. And when we're weak, from a nutritional standpoint or psychological standpoint, or there's some kind of stressors in our lives, the herpes virus jumps. It waits for that opportunity. So what you got to do is you got to strengthen the immune system and reduce stress on the body, and that means emotional stress and that means physical stress in terms of nutritional deficiencies or digestive distress or blood sugar stress. So a couple strategies for you. Number 1, get yourself on selenium. Very powerfully antiviral, as we talked earlier. It helps. Selenium, 400 micrograms a day. The Beyond Tangy that's the ultimate selenium, by the way. Get it off brightsideben.com or call the phone team at 866-735-2470. Have her using her Beyond Tangy Tangerine, reducing intake of sugar, using the Sweeties to process sugar, and if there's any digestive health issues, those need to be corrected. Using the Biolumin Nightly Essence can also be helpful, not only because it helps the digestive system, but probiotic good bacteria can help, can act as antivirals and antibiotics as well. All right, David, got to move on. That's the end of our program. Thank you so much for your call. Hope we helped. If not, give us a call back tomorrow, 844-236-6010. That's all the time we have for today. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening, friends. Have a wonderful, awesome, spectacular, beautiful day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.
Gold. It's like nothing else on Earth. From the Romans through the Renaissance, from the Industrial Age to the Space Age, gold has weathered the test of time. For 6,000 years, gold has remained the ultimate store of wealth. According to the World Gold Council and the U.S. Mint, demand is at an all-time high. The stage is being set for the reemergence of gold as the common-sense alternative to a fiat paper currency that gets weaker every day. Midas Resources is proud to offer the hard-hitting report that arms you with the truth you need to protect you and your family from the Fed's plans for your hard-earned money. Don't gamble with your future. Call Midas Resources today and ask for your free copy of As Good as Gold. Call 1-800-686-2237 for the report the Fed hopes you'll never see. As Good as Gold can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. If you have ever thought about owning gold, you must read this report. Call Midas today at 800-686-2237.
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates, 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services.